Hey guys, Cat Max Mason here, and I'm going to be reading Intel from Project Nova. Alright, once it starts, date August 12th, 1948. To John Abrams, Chief Analyst, from Ryan Jackson, Jr. Analyst. Subject: Initial overview of German Wunderwaffe program and associated analytical recommendations. Dear Sir, per your request, please find enclosed the analysis team's initial overview of the German Wunderwaffe program and team recommendations based on one said coverage. Closed in this packet, please find the following terms. 1. High priority. Analysis of the Uranium Club, a German nuclear energy project whose purpose was to weaponize nuclear fission technology. This project was disbanded in 1942 as a means of diverting more funds to the German war effort. 2. Analysis of the Agretti rocket series with a particular emphasis on the A9-A12 models, all of which were designed for the purpose of transporting heavy loads, i.e. satellites, into low Earth orbit. Of particular note is the A4, later reclassified as the PT1 rocket, the most successful of the Agretti series and the first projectile to reach space. 3. Analysis of rocket-propelled aircraft with a focus of the DFS-228 and a 346 proposed rocket-powered aircrafts that would culminate in development of a supersonic reconnaissance planes. 4. Analysis of the rocket U-boat, a submarine designed to carry and fire ballistic missiles. 5. Low priority. Analysis of the extreme tank design with a focus on the pre-prototype super heavy land cruiser P1500 monster and a 1,000-ton tank that would act as a transport for the 800mm Schwer Gustav artillery gun, the largest ever fired. 6. Low priority. Analysis of a rumored Die Glock device, heretofore known as the Bell, purported to be anything from an anti-gravity propulsion system to a time machine. Nothing as yet can be confirmed. However, a statement from agency case officer Chase Retland details his interrogation of a low-level research assistant who claims he saw a mirror device that allowed the viewing of images from the past. Subject of interrogation died of unknown causes shortly after providing his statement. 7. Recommendation: move all recovered Wunderwaffe assets, both material and human, to U.S.-controlled facilities for the purpose of research and development ASAP. Analysis is ongoing and the deeper report will be forthcoming no later than 28th of August 1948. Any additional information you may require regarding the Wunderwaffe program will be made available upon request. Sincerely, Ryan Jackson, Jr. Analyst. So I guess what they're saying is that the facility where they sent all those both human and the weapons is probably the Pentagon. That would explain why the map 5 has all that bodies in that one lab and that all of their stuff. Date: February 22nd, 1968. To Richard Kane, from Ryan Jackson, Chief Analyst. Background on origins of Nova 6, and that's the subject. Recent human from assets working in Moscow provides insight on how the Soviets acquired from the German Wunderwaffe program, known both the base of Nova 6 compounds and the German scientist Dr. Friedrich Steiner, the architect of the Nova 6 program. Steiner profile dated April 14, 1967, attached in tab A. 1945, our British counterparts in MI6 inaccurately or falsely reported that the original Nova 6 test site, located outside the municipality, or however you pronounce that, of Katowice on the border of Poland, was destroyed under heavy bombing. Reports from the time indicate that the Nova 6 compound was transported onto the Elbe River to the North Sea, where it was moved to a freighter for transport to an unknown location. MI6 goes on to report that the freighter ship was destroyed on direct orders from Winston Churchill, and everyone on the ship was killed in the resulting explosion. However, we now know that at the minimum, Dragovich, Kravchenko, and Steiner escaped with samples of the gas and headed back to Moscow. Full MI6 report with redication in tab B. The team's investigation believes what ensued next was the Soviet resurrection of the German Nova 6 project. According to our sources, it wasn't until 1959 that Dragovich was able to convince key party members of the necessity for a non-nuclear plan to defeat the United States should global conflict ignite. The notion of mutually assured destruction has been enough to keep the Soviets from attempting a first-strike nuclear launch against the United States. However, with sleeper agents in place across the nation and a readily available cache of Nova 6 thanks to the efforts of the front company GKM, the Soviets could conceivably disrupt both American industry and government in order to accomplish a swift and effortless invasion of the United States. Then that would be here. Top secret. Date November 1st, 1963. To Richard Kane. From Ryan Jackson, Chief Analyst. Subject Dmitry Petrenko. Place of birth? They don't really say, I guess. Nationality? Russian, Caucasian. Date of birth? August 1st, 1923. Age 22. Height 6 feet. Build average. Weight 185 pounds. Eyes brown. Hair brown. Summary profile. Dmitry Petrenko served as a private in Russia's Third Shock Army from 1941 to 1945. First-hand accounts seem to suggest that he was a soldier of some repute, with rumors implying that he was integral in driving the occupying German forces from Stalingrad in 1943. What is known for certain is that Petrenko survived the war, recently acquired Soviet medical files detail the wounds he sustained in the Battle of Berlin and his treatment in a Russian field hospital located on the outskirts of the city. Over a 2-month period, Petrenko defied his doctor's prognosis by making a full recovery. Upon leaving the hospital, Petrenko did not return to Russia. Instead, he was assigned to Soviet occupation forces in Berlin from July to the August of 1945. His last documented assignment was to Unit 45, a Soviet Special Projects team under the command of Major General Nikita Dragovich. Of note is Petrenko's relationship with Viktor Reznov. There are a number of parallels in their respective service records, most notably the assignment to Unit 45. Partial service record, medical history, and profile enclosed. So, again, these are probably talking why some of this stuff happened and why it didn't happen, so I'm going to go with this one next. Victor Charlie, and this is Intel number 8, I think. Date, January 24th, 1964. To William Colby, Chief Fires Division. From Ryan Jackson, Chief Analyst. Subject, analysis of capabilities of the National Front for the Liberation of South Vietnam, NLF or Viet Cong, for the purpose of dissemination as orientation material to new SOG volunteers. Dear Sir, for your review, please find the analysis team's full report of Viet Cong or VC history, structure, and strategic philosophy as requested by MACV-SOG Command. The purpose of this report is to provide new volunteers of the Studies and Observation Group a comprehensive and appropriate background on known VC functions and competencies within the new operators' fields of operation. Enclosed report includes the following. 1. Historical background of a summary of NLF/VC origins following the 1954 Geneva Accord. This section tracks VC evolution from a post-colonial political organization into armed propagandists and communist insurgents. Honed in the skills of guerrilla warfare, their manifest calls for the overthrow of the disguised colonial regime of the imperialists and dictatorial administration. As of this report, the Viet Cong are a guerrilla fighting force numbering over 300,000. 2. Strategic philosophies. The most interesting development in the last month is the fact that the Soviet Union has officially cut open aid to North Vietnam as a protest to the ties between the North and Communist China. However, it is believed that the Soviets continue to secretly move weapons and advisors into the region. This is unconfirmed. Between the NVA and VC, execution of the war effort is a merging of political and military struggles in a singular effort. This philosophy is broken into three phases, including 1. Preparation, organization, and propaganda. 2. Guerrilla warfare and terrorism. 3. Traditional offensives consisting of conventional warfare. Speaking to phase 2 into the context of this report. Viet Cong regularly utilize murder, kidnapping, torture, and intimidation. 3. Structure and organization. The VC military formation is structured over 3 distinct groups. First are the VC main force units, the elite of their fighting force. This phase consists of full-time soldiers structured similarly to the NVA battalions. The predominant number of these fighters originates from the south. Second are the regional forces, who are also full-time soldiers, but on a whole remain in their provinces of origin. Village guerrillas. The third group are also provincial, but fight only in part-time harassment capacities. For the Viet Cong battle tactics are not covered in this report, in difference to data collated by DIA. However, it must be stated for the sake of the perspective that the NVA/VC coalition has known tendencies toward terror tactics for purposes of intimidating the southern populace, eliminating rivals, boosting propaganda efforts, and lowering the morale of southern government employees. Tactics include, but are not limited to, provoking attacks from U.S. and ARVN forces, mass killings that could be qualified as massacre and assassination. I'm actually going to stop soon. Dates: May 13th, 1965. To William Rayborn, DCI, Richard Helms, DD/CIA, and William Covey, from Ryan Jackson, Chief Analyst. Subject: Analysis of necessity for insertion of Studies and Observation Group, SOG, into Laos for purposes of reconnaissance of the NVA/VC logical system known as the Ho Chi Minh Trail. MACV has requested agency analysis of their requests for authority to launch reconnaissance missions into Laos in order to observe the supply and troop transport along the Ho Chi Minh Trail, or HCMT, which may have been dubbed Operation Shining Brass. Official DoD request can be found in tab A. To reports received from US/DIA outline that following statistics: total supply capacity of the HCMT in 1964 reached 20 to 30 tons per day at some 12,000 NVA troops have moved into the south through Laos last year. Currently, the Laotian portion of the HCMT has seen an average of 30 trucks per day carrying upwards of 90 tons of enemy supplies. However, U.S. Command in Saigon has reported the movement of 195 tons per day via the HCMT, Tab B and Tab C respectively. This discrepancy of data supports the need for boots on the ground in reconnaissance role to observe directly the enemy HCMT. 3. SOG mission success rate to date support the assignment of their recon teams to such a mission. See mission reports for the Gulf of Tonkin incident and Operation Steel Tiger in Dab D. Their ability to wage unconventional warfare within the region is unprecedented. To date, COD teams have ran operations that include the capturing of high-ranking enemy officers, SAR missions, psychological operations, and other clandestine activities. A joint task force made up of U.S. Army Special Forces, U.S. Navy SEALs, USAF Combat Control teams, and the agency's own Special Activities Division, Tab E. Right, I'm going to finish it in the next part.